One. All right, welcome back, everyone. This is the Great Debate here on Thursday nights in my stream, UmaB1111 on the Plenty of Fish app. We are now moving on to our second topic of the night, for which my co-host Rob will give it to us. So, Rob, what is the second topic of the night?
The second topic of the night is, do we think that the whole industry of Hollywood and fame is a cult?
Ooh. Mm, mm,
And how
mm.
much of it is a cult?
Okay, go ahead,
Oh, really?
Benjamin.
We doing that?
No,
let me
hey,
get
hey,
let me get the heck on out of
hey, I'm not. I
here.
figured it was a say
I'm
less
you
situation. I
you.
figured that explained everyone in Hollywood that does those type of symbology. That I believe those type of people are in it. Those type of people that do that in entertainment. Period, not just Hollywood, music. You name it, radio, news, mainstream media, like pretty much elitism, I would
Politics.
say. Like, yeah, the elites. And I do say they follow seminal lichens and like trademarks and patterns, and that could be defined as a cultic behavior. You know what I mean? Some people call churches and gangs like cults. So the type of stuff they do seems cult like, whether they are or not. mm, mm.
All
Cause
right, so the
like,
question in the
cause like
room,
when you
welcome
think
in,
about,
everyone. The
cause
question in
when
the
you think
room
about,
is,
oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
I gotta, come on, Rob. You know how we do this. We gotta welcome people in. Welcome in, everyone. We are now in our second topic for the great debate. The question is, are people in Hollywood part of a cult? That is the question. Go ahead, Rob.
Because when you think about everybody that's being brought to the limelight, with P Diddy being the latest of the people that's being brought to the limelight with his case against Cassie, uh, and everything that people are saying about him, like, are we just shifting it to one person, or can we divide it up amongst like thousands of people that are involved in this?
So I've been listening to a lot of the podcasts and blogs about the whole Diddy situation. And somebody said something really interesting. Someone who has like an inside know-how of the society there. And they said, Benjamin said it earlier before we started recording. He said there's levels to this. And the person said exactly the same thing. They said, what you don't understand is there's different chessboards being played at the same time. And let's say, for instance, Diddy is a king, right, on his chessboard, but on the one above him, he's a rookie. On the one above him, he's a pawn, but he belongs to a line. So they said more than likely the king for Diddy's line fell. And now all the people in his line have to fall. What do you guys think of that theory? I was blown away when I heard that, actually.
I don't. So I understand where it's coming from, but I don't think that they fall. So being in a cult is, as Ben was saying, it is kind of having the same concepts, the same thing, right? So we take a look at movies, or for me anyway, I take a look at movies and how they're made, right? The classic everyday movie is you have the bad guy versus the good guy, right? Or vice versa. You have the man trying to rescue the woman from the villain, right? That's not just movies. That's coming bringing it down to like books and fairy tales and all that stuff, right? I mean, so if you want to say that the all of Hollywood is in a cult, I mean, does that take place into like all books that are made? The Romeos and Juliets, the Hamlets, anything like that? All the books from the past that Shakespeare wrote. It's kind of a tough subject, right? But now that you say Hollywood, though, right? When they're bringing in videos and stuff, I would have to say yes, because everyone's like, when you're talking books and stuff, no, they didn't know anything about that in the book. They didn't know what plagiarism was. They didn't know what copyright was, right? But now we all have an understanding of that, and it's not that they're copyrighting it. They're making a copy of it just enough to break that copyright barrier, so that's not the same. but it is the same, and people aren't recognizing that.
I want to get to some of the comments in the comment section. Ghost said, "Media bends the truth of Hollywood reality. Majority of the elite are all just like everyone else." Aggressive Gentleman said, "Everything Hollywood represents is occult behavior."
Mhm.
Michelle said, "George Carlin, it's a big club and you ain't in it." Afro said, "Did y'all know the Chris Rock slap was a skip?" And then
Oh
Aggressive
yes.
said, "The adept have levels. Shakespeare didn't even write the books. A black woman did." I saw a video, an old video of that same slap with different actors. Uh, so what's going on? What's going on?
You saw
It's all
old video of
entertainment.
that?
It's all
There's a
entertainment.
video of, like, I think, was it the 60s or 70s, an award show. An actor went up, another actor came. These were white actors, came from the
Mhm.
audience, walked up to him, slapped him, and even said, "Keep my wife's name out your mouth." And then
It was
Michelle said,
almost
"I
a.
think that video was
It,
done after the slap." I was thinking the same thing too, Michelle. Okay, and Afro reposted it on TikTok. This is why I need another device. Y'all please don't forget to check.
I did see that video.
Here, let
Can't
me help you out.
Right. I don't have another device. I'm recording on my other one. So just don't forget IG story, IG link. Check out Uma's Christmas wish list.
Oh,
Shameless
okay.
plug.
Let's see it. Um, so with that being said, where would you put
Before you
Jay Z?
move on, real quick, I will say that I think the more the actors and actresses that are the occult, like probably are higher up than the say the rappers and the singers and the artists and some of your other high up, they seem to be in it the most. And I'm not sure if it's because they have to play out certain characters or certain actions in some of the movies, so that what I mean, have to be like initiated into more because they maybe have to know a little bit more or whatever. But it seems like I look at the Epstein's list, it was mostly actresses and actors. You had a few singers and like comedians, but besides Rich, that weren't in Hollywood that we didn't know of, it was actors and actresses that were on the island with it. You know what I mean? So hey,
Lots
You
of
know,
politicians.
I got to agree
Oh,
with
Bill
that.
was on that
I
island.
no, I agree with that 100%. And it's like if you make your name at a spot, you stick with that spot. It's like for me, for an example, Eminem, right? Marshall Mathers, whatever you want to call him. I listen to him. Great rapper, right? He tried making 8 Mile, right? As an actor, it was an okay movie, but he's not an actor, right? Or if you take Bruce Willis, for example, right? Bruce Willis does all the action movies. Or who's the other guy now? The bald guy, Jason Statham, does all the
Yeah.
action films, right? He can't. You can't have him go play another role. You can't have him be a comedian somewhere else. Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey's a comedian. You can't have him playing a serious role because people know him from so much other stuff. So that I would agree takes into to an effect what we're talking about.
And they
Oh, he
have
played a
said,
couple of
right?
serious
Like,
roles.
they say that people have, like, especially the singers, they give you clues in their songs. Like, we all know Jay-Z's known for doing this symbol, right? Or
Mhm.
something like that, like the triangle. We've seen Beyonce also do it in her videos. We've heard Katy Perry, right? Some of her songs talk about making a deal with the devil to become famous. Other actresses too have mentioned about, making a deal with the devil to stay young, to stay relevant. So uh yeah, I personally believe there might be some sort of cult. I don't think it's open though to everybody. I don't think it's open to all the actors and actresses and singers. I think it's to the ones that are very, very popular, and they're like, we
you
can
have to
just.
have a platform. You have to have a very main that they could utilize for the next eons. You can't be old and gonna go outdated. You got to be something young and that
Relevant. You got
captures
to be
the
somebody, yeah,
Mhm.
relevant. And look, Michelle said Doja Cat's new stuff, Rihanna, original
Why do you
Robert
think?
Johnson sold his soul to the devil at the crossroads.
Why do they think that they keep like throwing out? We want social influencers. They want people that can influence mass majorities. So if you're not a social influencer, they can't do what they want to do. Their hidden agenda and accomplish. Hmm. Y'all know what they want to do. We're not done here.
What do that? That's I actually am curious because there's so much about child sex trafficking, right? There's so much about pornography. Um, I'm having a hard time, right? Trying to understand that at the highest level you go, it's all about sex, right? Like there has to be more. There has to be more. What is
Some believe it's because of where, like, because the people that believe that it came from, like, the like Illuminati's and the Freemasons and Knights Templar and stuff like that, they practice some Greek mythology and practice after some of the pagan holidays. Like Easter was an orgy fest, and then like 9 months later was December, the birth of those kids that were, orgy for the goddess of Isis, Ishtar, things of that nature. So they still practice these things, and like there were certain rituals that they did with kids that, like, in celebration and praise and worship of their gods and their deities. We might consider it pagan things or old mythology, but I mean, shit, it used to be talk, but now it's proof in the pudding that they are actually doing these things, and it's kind of like hard not to believe that it's something occultic going on, and maybe satanic with all the performances lately showing like a cult, like Satan worship, not even a cult worship, like straight out, Luciferian, demonic, type stuff, in Hollywood. So
Making no
no,
sense because I heard about that adrenochrome that children have adrenochrome and they want it because it's like the elixir of life. But how much of this is like fairy tales, stories made up, and how much of this is wait, this is real?
Well, there's a video out there um, with Kevin
Christmas is a
Hart.
demonic celebration. That's where it came from.
There's a video
Santa
out there
Claus,
with
like
Kevin
the.
Hart and Kelly
Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
Clarkson
bro.
chit chat. There's a video out there with Kevin Hart and Kelly Clarkson chit chatting, and Kelly Clarkson's talking to Kevin Hart just casually, and she's talking about how she was thrown hundreds of thousands of dollars to do stuff that she wouldn't want to do, and they pan over to him, and
He
all
was
you see
freaking
him
out,
doing is cameras are rolling. Cameras are rolling right now. What you
which makes you think,
doing?
and that makes you wonder, like, did he sell out? Because he really did become popular very quickly. I think you got to look at the people who have that, like, that rise to fame very quickly. You know, yeah, that
They had
shoot
no
up those
previous
people.
career. Yeah, they had no previous career. They just come out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the gold
Some
juice.
speculate Tiffany Haddish, like she tried stand up for years, nothing, and all of a sudden you skyrocketed. So people question, like, how did you get there? What move did you make to get you there? And then started, like, your
Tyler
personality
Perry
changed.
went from homeless to, TV mogul. Oprah Winfrey went from being turned down for jobs and job interviews to,
Steve
everybody knows.
Harvey, homeless card to, you know, fame, fortune. You don't get there just by. I luckily, I just worked hard and stayed at it. Shit, all of us work hard and stay at it and pursue our dreams and passions, and it just don't happen for us like that. And then to rise to the amount of success they are, they're not just B-list, C-list celebrities. Like, you know what I mean? These are probably
Yeah.
A-list celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
You
Hmm.
did something.
I love
Nothing in
the
life is free.
There's that argument.
I
You're
love
right.
the
Fact.
interview that they did years ago, shortly after his show went off. Um, what was it? Inside the Actors Studio. So he basically the and he said it's interesting the nature of Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? Like you think about people, and this is the interview that makes me think about how people act today. So like he was saying, like someone like Martin Lawrence, very notable actor, very funny comedian, but he's out there in the middle of the street waving a
What?
gun, talking about
What?
they trying to get me. They trying to get me. They coming after me. Mariah Carey, very prominent singer, good vocals. Now all of a sudden, half naked in all her videos and stuff like that. Like you gotta wonder
Oh, Michelle, like
what
I feel
makes
like
these
Britney Spears.
what makes these
Britney
very
Spears.
intelligent people make these decisions. that are kind of left of what they would normally do.
And what's the
Amanda
other one? The
Bynes.
other redhead, Lindsay Lohan, right? Lindsay Lohan was another Tara Reid.
But it
Oh,
seems like
sorry.
it's the non. It seems like it's the non-compliant ones that seem to have these mental breakdowns.
The issues. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Ones with a conscience, right? Like,
that's what I'm saying. The ones that are like, maybe waking up or deciding like this is more than I, bargained for. Like, and they wake up to it, and then all of a sudden they're crazy, like the Martin Lawrence thing. Because Dave Chappelle did a stand-up about it. I'm not sure if that's what you referred to, Rob, but he explained that
Yeah.
same situation in one of his
Yeah.
Netflix series or whatever. But yeah, it's crazy and ironic that like Kanye, when he started talking, all of a sudden this man's crazy.
they
Before
try
he
so
was
hard to
praised,
suppress
he was
Kanye.
he was a god just months before that. He was a god to them, you know what I mean, and a billionaire. Then now all of a sudden he's crazy.
Afro. I'm sorry about Mariah Carey, but her downfall was that whole Nick Cannon guy. I'm sorry. It's
And then like I heard something wild the other day about Nick Cannon, right? He's out here making all these babies with all these women, and we're like, what is he doing? And then
9 or
I
10 now.
this wild theory that he's making the children to be harvested for later on for the child sex trafficking ring or whatnot. And I'm like, that would be very, very wild if that was the case.
I'll tell you what's wild. Have you seen these Nick Cannon videos that he be putting out on like YouTube and stuff?
No.
It's wild.
That's too far.
Hey,
Like, you have
these,
something
I
on
will
these
tell
Netflix,
videos
y'all.
are
right?
wild.
I, w- I will tell y'all what had me worried whenever I found out like all the people on Epstein's island was Oprah, and how like she owns all the schools, a lot of schools in Africa, and how 300 girls came up missing out of her school that still ain't been heard of or seen to this day. But you also was taking multiple trips down there to the island, and how many of your other schools has this happened in? You know what I mean? Because Oprah's with the shits. Sue me, Oprah, if you want to, but you're a bad lady.
There's definitely something going on. Nope, she's still on top. She makes 60 million a year from one song each year. My girlfriend. She makes her
All
60
right,
million
yo,
right now. This is her time to shine.
hey Afro, can you
Mariah
can
Carey.
you send her a message and tell her not to forget her lyrics during New Year's Eve anymore?
Oh, wow.
Hey,
That's wild. All right, I
I
think
hate it
we
here.
really did this topic in. Anything else you guys want to say before we move on to the next topic? All right.